Okay, let's talk about something so many of us can relate to. That feeling of dread when you have to say the words vet visit. It's stressful, right? For our pets, for us, even for the vet team. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if we could actually change the whole dynamic from a struggle into a real partnership? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
So you have to ask the big question, why? Why are vet visits so incredibly difficult? I mean, we've all been there, right? Trying to get a cat out from under the sofa or getting a dog to happily hop in the car. But if you just pause and think about it from their point of view, it's a total sensory overload. You've got strange smells, weird slippery floors, unfamiliar people touching them. It's a lot. And their stress isn't just an emotional thing. That stress, it has this huge ripple effect. For our pets, it can build into real fear and even trauma over time. For us, the owners, it's just a cycle of anxiety and guilt. But here's the part that really gets overlooked. For the vet, a stressed out animal can mean getting inaccurate medical data. Think about it. Their heart rate is through the roof. Their temperature's up. That fear can actually hide what's really going on, making a diagnosis way, way harder.
So, what's the solution? Well, it really requires a kind of communication revolution. It's about completely shifting how we think about it, moving away from force, away from just getting it over with, and moving towards a genuine partnership. And this is where this amazing concept called cooperative care comes into play.
The definition is so simple, but it's powerful. Cooperative care is the process of teaching an animal to actively participate in their own care. Notice that key phrase, actively participate. This isn't about them just putting up with something. It's about empowering them to be a willing partner. It's a total game changer.
And this chart really breaks it down. So what it is not is forcing your pet to tolerate something, or just restraining them to get it done quickly. And it's definitely not some kind of advanced obedience training. What it is making things predictable. It's using clear start and stop signals so your pet knows exactly what's happening and when it's going to end. And most importantly, it's about allowing them to have pauses and a sense of choice. It gives them back a little bit of control.
Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? How do we put it into practice? Let's get into the stuff you can actually do both before you ever set foot in the clinic and during the visit itself.
And this right here, this might be the single most important piece of advice. The best time to start preparing is when everyone is calm and healthy and nothing is wrong. You can't really build these skills when you're already in the middle of a stressful emergency. You have to be proactive. Think of it like you're building up a savings account of positive experiences that you can draw from later.
One of the best ways to do this is with what are called victory visits. These are super short, totally no-pressure trips to the vet. So for step 1, you literally just walk in the door, the receptionist gives your pet an amazing, high-value treat, and you turn around and leave. That's it. Or for step 2, you just practice hopping on and off the scale for a treat, turning it into a fun little game. The whole point of all of these is to slowly chip away at that old, scary association and replace it with a new one. This place gives me good stuff.
Now, when you're there for a real exam, it's all about teamwork. For your pet side of things, the vet team should be focusing on going slow, really watching for those subtle stress signals, and using as little restraint as possible. And for you, the owner, your job is to be their advocate. Ask for explanations. It's okay to say, hey, he's really scared, and to ask if there's another way to do something. This is what that partnership looks like in action.
And all of this really leads to a much bigger shift in our whole mindset. We have to start redefining what a successful vet visit even is. Success isn't a dog that's frozen still with fear. True success is when we prioritize our pet's emotional well-being just as much as we do their physical health.
Of course, this raises a really big, important question. What do you do for the animals that are already terrified? The ones where even a quick victory visit is just way too much. For them, training by itself might not be enough. And we need to talk about another tool in the toolbox. This is where medication designed to help with fear and anxiety can be an absolute game changer for their welfare. And let's be really, really clear about this. Using medication is not a failure. It's not giving up. It actually prevents that sheer panic that causes trauma. It helps them stay calm enough to actually learn new positive things. And so importantly, it reduces the need for heavy restraint, which makes things safer for absolutely everyone involved.
This quote from Dr. Marty Becker just says it all perfectly. Medication should be a first option, not a last resort.
For a pet who you know gets intensely anxious about the vet, using medication isn't giving in. It's smart, humane, preventative care. It's giving them the support they need to handle a difficult situation.
So as we start to pull all this together, here's the main thing to remember. The goal here is not perfection. It's not about having some perfectly behaved robotic pet. You do not have to be a professional animal trainer to do this. The goal is simply preparation. It's about taking small, doable steps to prepare your animal for the healthcare they're going to need throughout their life. And in the end, this is the thought I really want to leave you with. Your pet's comfort, their emotional well-being, it isn't just a nice little bonus. It is a fundamental, essential part of good medicine. And that's something we can all work towards together.